Not a fan. Yeah, I'm good. Monday.
What's up, guys? Rudy, what's going on, man?
How long is the delay? Yeah, there's. Oh, boom, there it goes.
What's up,
Wayne,
Wayne?
David, Josh, Matthew. What's up? Heidi from Dallas. Good evening, fellas. Tony, what's up, buddy? How you doing? How's the weather over there on the other side of the pond?
Broadcast interact.
What's up, Mike? Did it already die?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Bill?
Seems to be going well.
Can't say where we were.
Bill, what's up? Wake up. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. What's up from Texas? Hello from Utah. What's up, Steve? Sean? Vondell. That's a cool name. What's up from PA? My wife's in PA right now. She just landed in Pittsburgh a couple minutes ago. Hello from the Word. Hello from Little. What's up, Brian? Rudy. Alright, so, been a while, guys. Glad you made it back. It's been a long weekend. Still going. Raining a lot. Oh, that sucks. What's up, Dave? So, Easter.
That was good.
Yeah, let me get my seat in the right spot here. Yeah, Easter was good. We spent it at our buddy Artie's house.
Yes.
Who's going to be on the show hopefully next week.
Yeah.
What's up from Pittsburgh? That's where my wife is. So Artie is our Amp of America rep. Amp of America is the company that makes Pack, makes Stinger, makes iSimple, makes Phoenix Gold.
Yeah.
What else do we got? We got a couple others yeah, well, it's good enough. He's our sales rep. I've known him for years and years. He's going to be on the show next week, so we'll promote that more. I'm excited about that. Today was rough though. I've had an earache for about 2 weeks now, and as you know, and finally got to go to the doctor today, and it's great. So I do have an earache because the first person, Echo Master. Thank you, Mike.
Echo Master. Hey.
Duh.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Mike on the show too. We got a list of I think I want to get everybody at Amp of America on the show. It's a long year though, so we'll be able to get them all on.
Yeah.
And he can talk to us about Phantom and what the Phantom guys do. That'll be nice.
That would be cool.
So we're going to get Artie on. Artie's a sales rep, so his job is to take our orders, tell us about new products and stuff like that. So we'll get that perspective, so that'll be good. So, you know, what I want to do basically is get somebody from every part of this industry on the show.
Right.
I want to get an engineer on the show. I'm working on that. No problem. Tell me when. Will do, Mike. Thank you. Snow here in New York City. Oh, God. That sucks.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Nice.
So anyways, went to the doctor this morning, finally.
Former speaker, warehouse installer in the house. What's up, Richard?
So that'll be nice. I'll be able to get an antibiotic, get my blood pressure that is going through the roof right now because of my earache. So that's been nerve-wracking. Can't run right now. We just missed the snow where I'm at in New York. So did we. We just missed the snow where we're at in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, it was close. It was really thin. But no snow here. Thank God.
Nope.
Let's see. Guys recently updated to an 8200. Now, how?
HDMI source. It's highlighted.
Isn't highlighted.
Isn't
so
highlighted.
the only time the HDMI source will be highlighted is if, one, you have an HDMI plugged into it, and two, you have a device that is on and plugged into it. So for example, until you plug in, like if you, let's say an iPhone or an Android with a USB-C adapter, there has to be an incoming source plugged into it, just like the CD player. It's got a CD player in it, but it won't highlight the CD DVD player or the USB until you actually have a source plugged into it. So it needs to see that source coming in over it. Now, if you've got a source plugged into it and it isn't playing, then I would check the source that you have hooked up to it, because
maybe the HDMI
cable's bad or something like that. Anytime we have any issues with HDMI, the first thing we do is actually grab the TV that we're watching this on right here, which we did that one video where we had the white fake iPod adapter.
Yeah.
We were showing that just buy the real iPod adapter. So we plug
Netherlands.
Oh, hey. We plug everything into a TV first just to make sure that it works. I just bought an AVH200 based on your video. Thanks a lot. Hey, glad you liked it. Awesome. I'm not even going to start to read Danny's because it'll go away before I can read it. Can you see Danny's yet?
Yeah.
What does Danny say?
Okay.
What's up, Nick?
Danny said, "Hey guys, so
Hey, it's
it's
a
no
Lopez.
audio for my 4100 NEX using CarPlay or Bluetooth, radio, iPod, or USB 2. CD, they have sound. Should I install? I installed the bypass and I have sound.
I have sound
no
but no
video.
video. So what does that say?
Any
Hey guys, there's
ideas?
no audio from my NEX using CarPlay and Bluetooth radio. iPod on. Okay.
2 amps running.
What's up, ONeil?
Okay, so
Alright.
he got 2 amps running.
All right, so let me
Yeah.
read this again. So it's a 4200 that doesn't have a power antenna wire. All right, radio, iPod on USB 2, CD. They all have sound as it should. So he has no sound.
Yeah,
from,
but he got 2 amplifiers.
yeah, but he has no sound using CarPlay and Bluetooth.
Right.
Well, it's one or the other. You got to do CarPlay or Bluetooth. You can't
Right.
do both. It won't do both at the same time. And he doesn't what could be have 2 amps running. Everything, not using internal stereo amps.
So everything is running from the amplifiers.
Yeah, but
So-
the fact that he's not getting sound from CarPlay or Bluetooth, that doesn't make any sense. Because if he's getting sound from USB, so anytime you plug anything that has CarPlay in, it automatically shuts off Bluetooth. Bluetooth goes away. You can't access Bluetooth while you're doing CarPlay. But if you're getting sound over
What's
USB
up,
when you
Clint?
put a thumb drive in, then you should be getting sound from your iPod via CarPlay, unless you have a charge-only cable, which won't pass sound over the USB. So make sure you're using a authorized iPod cable for
Yeah.
one. No sound from Bluetooth does. You have to make sure the volume on the phone is all the way up. That would be the only reason why you'd have no sound that way.
Yeah. But that's.
I have no idea.
It's a 40. It's a 4100.
Yeah, but
I
that
don't
should-
know
that's-
if that's an update.
Well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
always an update. There's always another update, but that's not anything that's ever been a problem. So those are, because Bluetooth is on a totally different chip than USB. So those two, it shouldn't be an issue there with that. Those shouldn't be happening. Really, the only thing, like we said, that's all I got is what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hello from the other side of
Bluetooth, the
Costco.
volume turned up on his phone. Yeah. Turn the volume on the Bluetooth phone. Set Bluetooth sound to all speakers. On a Pioneer, it doesn't have that feature. That's only on.
It's
some
only
of
in the
other-
front.
Yeah, definitely. It's updated to the latest firmware.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's weird. I would.
Okay, so next, what are your thoughts on the JL Audio BXI amplifiers compared to the D-Series audio control?
Well, since I've never seen them other than on the cool
On the
little
picture?
Instagram and the pictures, I really can't say how amazing they are. We're not JL dealers, so that's
Correct.
kind of a bad question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no,
I
but
like
it's
the-
like
Okay, so here's what's happening. Everyone and their uncle is now going to be coming out with, as we said back in the beginning of the year, 2018, the year of the DSP. Everyone is going to be putting DSPs, coming out with DSPs, putting DSPs in amplifiers. So they're all going to have them. Now what's going to happen is we have to figure out who makes the best DSP software. So that's really where it's going to come down to the goodness. I mean, JL makes great amplifiers. We know that. They've successfully made amplifiers now for years and years and years. Everyone loves them, from the Slash series up to whatever their current thing is. Audio control is new to the amplifier game, but they've been making processors forever. So they come from a processor history, not an amplifier history. JL comes from an amplifier history. Granted, they have made processors in the form of I can't think of it right now, but and now they have the Tweak and they have the Tune, Clean Sweep. So
clean sweep.
JL, to give them credit, they try really hard to always make products that don't suck. Audio control is there again. They've always made great analog and some digital products that don't suck. What we're looking forward to is seeing the features that are going to allow us to tune these things in a better way, make it easier, make it sound better faster, not having to spend 4 hours in a car to get it to sound good. We were on the phone this past week with one of the DSP manufacturers. What we wanted to do was a simple tune. We tuned the front of the car. It had the same exact speakers in the back of the car, and the customer really wasn't worried about surround sound. They just wanted it to sound really nice. Thank you, Mike. What's up, Dave? So we just wanted to copy the front EQ setting to the back because they were the same sets of speakers, same set of power. We weren't doing anything crazy, and we couldn't find that feature anywhere. Called it the manufacturer, and they were just like, no one's ever asked for that. I'm like, well, why? It makes total sense. Every in-dash radio's EQ can either, is set front and rear the same. Some of them used to have, like some of the old Kenwoods had front EQ, rear EQ, or some, so that all had the same EQ. But they didn't put that feature in their DSP. So now we had to sit there and copy 32 bands of equalization one at a time, and that took forever. And it was like, yeah, granted, not everyone is going to ask for that feature, but it would be a good place to be able to, like, we have this great curve up front, let's start with that, move it to the back, and then we can tune the back from there, do a little bit of adjustment. So I feel that more we're going to have to worry about what software these guys are coming out with. That, I think, is what's going to set it apart. Because we're dealing with all great brands right now.
Yep. All right. Okay. I have a 2010 Silverado. I'm looking for the best spot to tap and ignition switch.
On what, 2010? What kind of car? Silverado? To tap. Ooh. So in a lot of those cars, the ignition is a monitor only. It is not a feed for ignition. Now you can get accessory. Usually there's, in the passenger side, there is an accessory brown wire. When you pull off the side, there's a whole bunch of wires over there. One of them is a brown, which is a good accessory to grab. It's a low amperage, so if you're going to be doing like a lot of stuff at a relay, I believe there's also a constant 12 volts over there. Constant 12 volts you can get right at the cigarette lighter if you need to, or you can go right out to the battery. But grabbing the ignition wire, the pink ignition wire coming off of the key, a lot of the times those are monitor-only wires, and they're not made to be hooked up to anything.
Oh, cool.
So,
wow. Okay, so Rob say, what's up,
yes,
guys?
there you go. Pack Ignition 1. That's also something to check out. That's a new product that Pack just came out with. It looks like Mike's going to be helping us on this show. Thank you, Mike. Yep. All right. Yeah, check that out. It's an ING1. Do a Google search on that. It's a new product they just came out with. It generates an ignition wire. It's really cool. We just got them in the other day. I haven't had time. We've been so busy.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, they have. Well, they all do different things. One's like a data turn on. One's like that. One's a signal voltage.
What's up, Jason? Jason is in the house now.
Jason. One of them is so for like cars that have the push where the car shuts off at the stoplight and then starts back up. They make a box for that problem now, which is really nice. So that's good. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Dave? So they have all these new little widgets that are gonna really help. So
all right. So Rob say, "What's up, boys? From Chicago, just dropped off the Beetle to have everything installed, which I have the time to take you guys from Chicago.
Oh yeah.
See series components, blah blah blah, and Dynamite. Awesome.
Yes, Dynamite. Dynamite is the stuff. Stop start. Yeah. See. My head is really hurting me today because I haven't started the antibiotics yet. So.
Finance components.
What do you got?
2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee with Infinity 6x9 components or 6.5 or 675. Brand. Recommendations under $300.
For like a 6x9 component under $300. We just did a set of the new Alpine S-Type 6x9 components. We just put them in an F250. Very nice Alpine. Way to go, for sure. They're going to be right under that $300 price point. So I might look into those. If you want something that, of course, is really loud, you can check out the Rockford Punch series. But check out the Alpines. I'm impressed. They have a really nice, strong mid-bass. So. Now, does he have the Infinity system in it?
No.
No Infinity. Okay. If he
with Infinity, yes.
Oh, if it's got the Infinity, that changes the game altogether. No, don't do that. Because so back up. If you have the factory Infinity system, you can't just swap out the speakers because that factory door speaker is actually a subwoofer. So it's not phone range. It's the actual subwoofer for the car. So you're not going to be able to just throw new speakers in there and call it a day. Or spend $300. You've just gotten to a whole bigger system. At that point, what you're going to need to do is get into something like a Pack Amp Pro, go with a small outboard amplifier, and then you can add speakers because you need to take that crossover and power that the factory deck is doing out of those in order to put aftermarket speakers in there, because it's a 3.5 in the dash, which is actually where 90% of the sound is coming from. So if you put a 6x9 component in there, this is just going to play bass. This is going to try to play mid-range for that tweeter. It's going to sound absolutely horrible. Amp Pro will allow you to plug into it, get a full preamp section out of the radio that is full bandwidth at that point, and they also make a new T-harness so that you can plug in at the amplifier, get all your speaker wires. Then you can put in a small 4-channel amplifier, power everything up. So it's not going to be a $300 system. You're more looking into a $1,000 system all of a sudden because you have the Infinity package in the car. If you have the non-Infinity system, no big deal. You could do it, but Infinity, way harder to do.
Alright, I have a 2015 Ram 1500 with a premium Alpine system using the factory 8.4 and the DSR1.
Okay.
I'm using a Rockford Prime 250.1 to push an 8-inch sub.
Okay.
And a JL 600 to push all the speakers. All on their own channel.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So, do you know what for output voltage I can expect to the amps, and how can I set the gains properly without the SMT?
DD1. Okay, so that product puts out a 4-volt output. I mean, at the end of the day, that's going to be a lot of output going into the amplifier. You're going to have to, the gains need to be low. I mean, that's just how they are. Plus, you're going to be EQing it, probably going to put on some bass boost. There's no easy way to say just magically do this. Without a scope, without some form of way to see the distortion, the only way you could do it is through using some form of pick a voltage and tune the amplifier to that output voltage with a digital multimeter, and that's not going to be 100%. But really, that's the only way I could see you doing it. But you'd have to know what the target output voltage is of the amplifier. JL typically has that information on their website. They're one of the few manufacturers. Phoenix Gold does it, where they put target voltage on their website. You can find it, and what basically you're going to do there is you're going to play like a test track of a certain frequency.
Yeah.
And then you're going to play it through, disconnect all the speakers, set the amplifier or set the gains low, put the voltmeter on it, set it to AC, and then you're going to turn up the radio until it hits that target volt. Or you turn up the radio, and then start turning the gain up on the amplifier until it hits that voltage. The key is you have to leave the voltage. You have to leave the radio at a specific spot. You have to say, like, this is where I think the radio is not clipping. I want to leave the radio here, and then go turn that voltage up, and it's all a guess. At the end of the day, it's all a guess.
Jason said, I wish Kenwood or Pioneer will have 8 channels of output to front, rear, and south.
In a radio? Yeah, well, yeah, me too. Their amplifier will do it. So like their 600 DSP amplifier has 6 channels of power built into it and 4 channels of output. So technically it has, 6, 8, 9, 10 channels of capability. What I would hope one of these manufacturers would do is eventually come out with 8 channels. Tweeter, mid, rear, sub would be great. I wish Pioneer would be, because Kenwood has started to take all their aux jacks out of the radio. So they never had an aux RCA, but now they don't have an aux jack on a lot of them. The HDMI is gone, the aux jack is gone, bummer how it is. Pioneer still has an external AV jack. It would be nice if Pioneer would build in there the ability to turn that AV input into a 4th RCA output.
Yeah.
A lot of work, probably impossible, but would be nice.
Yeah. All right. So Peter say he has a shop in Netherlands. So
that's
he
cool.
always watch our show.
Cool.
Thank you.
I need to go to the Netherlands.
Really?
I would love to go to these. Yeah.
All right.
The weather's good.
Do you answer Danny question? What about the bypass? I installed the DVD, gets sound but no video. Any setting on my 4100 that should be turned on or off to get the video on the screen?
No, I mean, once the bypass is connected, everything should work fine at that point.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a micro bypass, you have the remote turn on blue wire should be connected to the blue, or blue white wire should be connected to the bypass's blue wire. The light green output should be connected to the light green wire on the bypass, and the ground should be connected. Other than that, that's it. A good way to see if the bypass is working is going to the menu system of the car, or going to the menu of the radio, and put it in standby, go to menu, gears, scroll all the way down to where system information is, click on it, and then when it says update will blink, and then come on. If that works, like if it blinks when you're on the update screen, that means that the bypass is functioning. Otherwise, you'd have to go in the back and hook a digital multimeter up to it and make sure that it's turning on, off, on. So,
all right. Any thoughts on running power wire under the vehicle?
We just talked about this last week, I think. Yeah, you can run power wire underneath the vehicle. The key to it, though, is you have to properly insulate the wire that's going underneath the vehicle. IASCA says run your wire underneath the vehicle. However, you have to put it in shielding. So what a lot of the guys do is they go to Home Depot, they buy that exterior grade power conduit, they put the wire through that, attach it up into the car, and you're good to go. If you're just planning on running like a 4 gauge or a 0 gauge up underneath the car and some little chintzy aluminum, bad idea. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that it is covered in steel. The exterior AC loom is steel with plastic around it. That's what you want, because road debris will fly up underneath the car, cut the power wire, because the stuff is essentially jello when you're doing 75 miles an hour on a hot road, and boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, much of my family lives in the Netherlands. Oh, that's cool, Jason.
That's awesome.
Hello
All
again
right.
from Ontario, Canada.
Hello. Hello from Wisconsin. Love the videos. You guys helping me a lot. I have a question. I'm going to buy a 10-inch sub with built-in amp.
Okay.
The wiring for the power and ground is the same size as the remote wire.
Huh. Okay.
Do I use wire like a regular amp install, or I can hook up a power wire to the amp already?
So here's what I would do if you're buying that. So the question is, I'm buying a 10-inch pre-made, all good to go. It's got a really thin power and ground wire. It's the same size as the remote turn-on wire. Should I run a regular power wire to it? I'm going to go yes. And the reason why is because more than likely you're not going to be happy with this system that you're putting in, and you're going to upgrade to something else. So if you just go ahead and run a better power wire, then you're good to go. The other thing too is you might as well give this thing the best chance it has at sounding good, and the more power you can get to it, the better chance you have. So definitely want to, like an 8 gauge would probably be fine. I'd, run an 8 gauge to it and be good to go. Unless you're planning on one day, you want to add a real sub amp.
All right, David. Hello. I have a
gauge.
2007 Trailblazer. Which pack do I use to keep my steering wheel controls and XM?
It's going to be an RP5. So go to pack-audio.com, type in your car, and look for something that says RP5. If it is capable of retaining the Sirius XM, now it has to have, okay, how these Sirius XM add-ons work for like an RP5. If it will communicate, you can read if you go to the instructions, what's up, Dan? If you go to, download the instructions, read the instructions, it'll tell you if it's capable of retaining the factory XM. I don't recommend it. I'll tell you right now, trying to retain the factory XM, bad idea. And the reason why is because how you control it is through the steering wheel control. So you have to go track up and down through the steering wheel controls. That means if you want to go from channel 10 to channel 100, you have to hit the button 90 times. Buy the SVX300 and plug it into the new radio. Sanity comes at no price, man. You got to pay for Sanity. The RP5 is still the best, will do everything. I like the RP5s. Anytime we have the opportunity to install an RP5, we do. At that point, though, if you want to save some money, you can go down to the RP4. It's still a great alternative. We actually use more RP4s than anything else. But yeah, so that's that information.
All right.
Okay.
This is Raphael.
Thanks, Mom. Mom says hi.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Raphael said, I have 2017 Hyundai Sonata without the factory amp.
Yay.
Just front doors, rear doors. I have a Pioneer 8604 and 9601 amp.
Okay. Yep.
On the audio control LCQ1.
Okay.
The resistors and everything.
Yep.
My problem, I haven't getting a humming sound from the front speakers. Does not increase when I raise the volume.
Okay.
And the humming is there when the car is off and the radio is off. I have no alternator noise, just that low humming sound?
Ooh.
Help me out.
So the problem always lies in the. Okay, so we run into.
Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Bennett.
I'm just gonna say small amplifiers whenever you get a chance. We're just waiting, buddy. Anyways, so and I know you've been busy. I'm just kidding.
I heard that he was in another show.
Yeah. We talked to Bill, and he was like,
nice.
Yeah. I have a Bentley. You can come finish. No, Dave. No, no, because you bit off a way big piece of that one, and that's all you, buddy. And congratulations on the new job. Whenever you get finished with a Bentley, you can leave. But until then, you're staying right where you're at. Anyway, so anytime you have to do any form of integration, there's always the opportunity to get noise. It's just how it's going to happen. Now, what could be causing the noise? You have an LCQ1. That's a great product. One of my favorites. We use a ton of them. But the secret to the LCQ1 is to make sure that you keep. You don't need a lot of left and right off of the EQ. If you turn up too much, you're going to get noise. Not saying that the EQ is the problem. The problem could be is that on the 96 on the Pioneer amps, if you've got the gains turned up too high, you're going to get that. You're going to get noise too, because remember the LCQ1 is putting out a ton of voltage. It's probably higher than 4 volts going into that piece. So there's really, you need to make sure those gains are down. Anytime we're installing with an LCQ1, we make sure we start with our gains all the way down on the amplifiers, and then we let the LCQ1 deliver the signal into the amplifier. It'll do it just fine. You don't necessarily need to run the gains open on those. The only time we give any gain is that once we've maxed out the LCQ1 for whatever reason, as far as the output voltage goes, we may crank up just a tad. So obviously I'm not looking at your system, but where I would start is I don't know how you tuned it. Take a picture of it, zero out everything on the LCQ1, and just turn the gains down all the way on the amplifiers and start seeing if the problem still persists. But that's where I would start.
All right.
Because it sounds like everything else is right.
Yeah. All right. Aftermarket.
Aftermarket's
all right,
good.
ONeil. Say after I update my 8200, I saw a car feature icon. What is for it?
The card feature is for if you have an iDataLink Maestro attached to it. That adds in car features if you have a car that will work with a Maestro and has features that it's capable of retaining. So, for example, we were just talking about an RP5. An iDataLink Maestro piece might work in that and allow you to retain your Sirius XM through the Maestro, through the car sections. That allow you to do basic controls for your Sirius XM in the radio when using that product. The other thing that the RR does in some cases is allow you to, it'll give you like when your door is open, it'll give you gauges. It gives you lots of fun for 5 minutes of use. But yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on those base tubes? They are made cardboard?
Oh, it's like
like a bazooka, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so like we had a guy saying Bazooka, isn't professional and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Like really, dude? I mean, here's the deal. If you buy a cheap woofer, and by cheap I don't mean like, okay, like we've sold like Paul getting
entry level.
Paul getting these woofers that have like a 6x9 magnet on it. They cost like $25. They put out bass. They handle about 100 watts. And there's a dozen of these other little tiny woofers that have tiny magnets. I'm not talking about like some giant Scar or American Bass or Orion HCCA. No. But you just buy one of these woofers that handles 100, 150 watts. Those boxes are perfect for that. You can slide those things in there. They go in the corner. They're going to play fine. You're never going to have a problem. It's not going to flex. It's not moving enough air or handling enough power to do anything. If that's what somebody wants, that's perfect. It'll love it. Now, if you're going to try to throw something like those other big, like a P3 or something like that in there, big woofer, you're just going to blow it apart. So, you have to play by the rules, and use a little common sense when it comes to that kind of thing. Is there anything wrong with it? No, they sound good. I mean, it's
all right, sorry.
Might not be for you though. Okay, go ahead.
All right, sorry. I have a 2007 Trailblazer with Bose. With both system, I want to put aftermarket stereo. Which one is the best deck and pack to keep everything working? Hello from New Mexico.
Hey, New Mexico. Well, okay, you got an answer for him?
Well,
I wasn't really listening, so.
Well, the first thing is like we have a video how to pick a radio, how to go and
Yes,
look
we do.
for features of what kind of radio actually you're looking for.
So
What kind of features
is that
you're
what
looking
he's trying
for?
to do? Is figure out what radio to go with?
And for the pieces, of course, you go to packaudio.com.
Yeah.
And,
So,
yeah.
real quick, when deciding to buy a radio, the things you have to ask yourself right off the bat: first off, do I need a screen? Right. First question: do I need a screen? Do I need something like this in my
Navigation.
dash? Okay. Well, just a screen. Do I need a touch screen, or is it all right to go with a regular, basic radio screen? If you just need a radio basic screen, then go off and ask yourself: do I need Bluetooth? Do I need CD? Do I not need CD? Do I just need USB aux and Bluetooth? Do I need a bigger display that's going to be 3 lines of text? That's basic radio features. Do I need something that has 6-channel preamp output? 4? Am I going to be adding amplifiers? Those questions all will envelop into: do I want touchscreen, non-touchscreen? Now, if I want touchscreen, you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do with that touchscreen? Am I going to be adding a backup camera, a front camera? If I'm just adding a backup camera, they'll all do backup cameras. Am I going to be doing CD, DVD? They don't all do that. So, like, for example, both Pioneer and Kenwood and Sony and Alpine all make radios that don't have CD, DVD players, but will do everything else, like CarPlay, Android Auto. Those are 2 big features. Are you going to want to have your Google Maps or your Apple Maps on the face of your radio? If you do, you're going to need something that has Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If you're just like, I just want to do Waze, well, then you're going to want to look at, like, Kenwood makes the 959 and the 795 both do Waze and functional. Pioneer makes the 2440 and the 1440, which will do CarPlay. One of them will do Android Auto, and some of them will do Waze. So there's a lot of features. You have to figure out the features, make that list, and then you can decide what you want. And then as far as parts go, like you said, pack-audio.com, metroonline.com, scosh.com. These are all where we go to find those parts.
All right. Has anyone come up with a good solution to that ugly green screen in the Chevy Cruze when switching the aftermarket radio?
No.
Not yet.
With the Chevy Cruze?
This is Chevy Cruze.
No. Okay, so what is the main difference between the red and blue stinger wire? Silver-coated copper?
There you go. Jason say Pack RP5 GM11 for the 2007 Trailblazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Silver-coated copper is blue. Blue is more expensive because of the what they coat the wire in. And they do give you a different fuse holder. So if you're buying like a kit, the red comes with just a generic 2-bolt style fuse holder. The blue comes with a compression style fuse holder. It's a little bit nicer.
All right, I have a question. I have a 2004 Town Car with the stock radio and controls on the steering wheel, but I want to keep it. I want to keep it as possible to send my harness to you guys to make the connection. I have the stuff.
Yeah.
So you can wire it.
Just give Paul a call on that one, and we'll figure out we'll figure out what's going on there, and we can figure. Yeah. So give Paul a call 727-216-6170.
All right.
And we can discuss all of those.
Jose, my amplifier sometimes put out less power than usual. What could it be? Using the factory ground on the factory on.
I think that might have been something they were dealing with in the questions, in the comments on the
Yeah,
backside.
yeah.
They were saying check the battery.
Yeah.
I'm going to say check the battery. Okay. We'll just address this as a generic question real quick. One other thing before I get to that. Remind me to come back. Difference between a 4201 and a 6201. A 4201 does not have navigation, it has detachable face, and it's a 7/8. The 6201 is a 6.2-inch screen, has navigation, does not have detachable face. They both come with remote control. They both have HDMI, 4-volt, all that. The 4201 will do Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The 6201 will only do Apple CarPlay. Okay, so the question is, all of a sudden, you guys are such a great resource for so many. You will see a couple little blue boxes with little black amps inside them this week. Oh, Chris, you're the man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so real quick, if the question
Thank you,
is...
Dan.
Hey, Demo Dan. Yeah. The question is, if I have an amplifier in my car, and all of a sudden I feel like it's not putting out the power that it used to put out, correct?
Correct.
All right, so why? Why is it doing that? There's two things. That's not four, there's two. I'm just holding up both fingers. One thing is we found that people get really used to what they're listening to. A guy come in, hey man, can you... I'm not even going to say his name because it's the name that cannot be said. Voldemort. Anyways, guy will come in, and you know who I'm talking about, though. Hey man, can you turn it up just a little bit? Can you turn it up just a little bit? Just give me a twist. Give me a twist.
Oh,
just give me a twist. Give me a twist. A little bit more. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more. Just give me. Okay, and you're like, okay, you go out there, and because he's the guy, you just go, yeah, oh, sure, I'll turn up your gain, I'll turn up your bass boost, whatever, you know. And you turn it up, and then he'll come back a week later, go, dude, can you turn it down? Can you turn it down? Can you turn it down? And you go, okay, you turn it down. What I'm getting at is, what we've found is that, you know, you get used to your system. In a month, 2 months, 6 months, you just get used to it. It's like all of a sudden it doesn't sound as good as it used to. And that's when the guys usually come back and they're like, I want to do phase 2. I want to add new highs, or I want to add a bigger amp, or I want to do something like that. A lot of the times people just get used to the way it sounds, and all of a sudden it doesn't sound as loud anymore because we're starting, you basically are going, you're losing your hearing. That happens. The other side of it, the electrical side of it, is that, like they're talking about in the comments about battery voltage. You have to own, if you're going to do anything in car audio, anything at all, I can't stress this enough, we said it a dozen times, you have to have a digital multimeter, okay? You can buy it for 20 bucks from Walmart, or you can go to dnftooldrower.com and pick up a nice Fluke for 120 bucks. That'll last you forever because it's Fluke and they're just amazing. There's a lot you can do, but you have to have a digital multimeter. Because what you're going to do is you're going to set it to DC, which is the line with the dashes underneath it. You're going to go back to the amplifier. You're going to put it at the amplifier, and you're going to see what kind of voltage is getting to that amplifier when you're playing your stereo. That's key. Okay, you want to know what it's doing. What is it saying? Then you're going to want to see what it's saying up front, and you're going to see what the voltage loss is between the front and the back, and be like, holy crap, I'm losing a whole volt between the front and back of the car. Why am I losing that volt? Could be a loose ground wire. Could be a bad ground wire. Could be crappy power wire. Like you got copper, but you got cheap copper that doesn't have enough stranding in it. Or you got some hybrid copper aluminum crap that they make. Or you're just running aluminum. You're going to lose a volt between front and rear if you lose it running aluminum. And it's going to take time for that to happen. Well, so, what?
No, he also say he has a small kinetic battery in the back.
Yeah. Well, there again, the other thing too is you got to see what kind of voltage is going on back at that battery, because just because you have a second battery back there, you might not ever charge it. The whole key to charging that second battery is downtime. You know, like when we put a second battery in the car, we say, hey, look, this second battery is going to charge on downtime. So, like on your way to work in the morning, listen to talk radio. Okay, let that battery get that extra voltage.
Might have to go. So,
bye, Mike. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, he say use if he can go.
Dean, call me tomorrow.
Yep.
I will your number. I have to go for tonight. Thank you so much. All right, we'll do. All right, so anyways, you know, you need that downtime on that battery. If you're going to be playing balls to the wall all day long, then you have to find out some way to actually charge that second battery.
All right.
The other thing, too, is a lot of the times people want to ground their amplifier to the second battery. Not a big fan of that. I used to do that a long, long time ago, and that bit me in the butt. So I make sure that the ground for the battery is on its own. The amps have everything has their own ground.
All right.
Because I found that helps to. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting the ME. Hurry up.
Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead.
I found that when you ground everything to the battery, it kind of exasperates the situation, if that's even the right way to say that. Makes it worse. I don't know why. It's just that's what I found. So there you go. There's my thought on that one. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, no.
Thank you. I'm going home. Oh no.
All right. So actually, if you want a cool, nice weather, he say not Netherlands, go to Portugal. You say you want to go to Netherlands?
Yeah.
Yeah, he say no. Go
to Portugal.
Yeah, my friend is from Portugal. That's awesome.
All right.
All right. I just had a Kenwood DNX 955S. And they install it just straight out with nothing to lock, tape around it, and a gap from the dash kit. Wow. Just say I appreciate you guys' work.
Man, you need to have that shop watch us.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
That's bad.
Right. What do you think of? It says, how do you like Kenwood subs? I'm thinking of going with the Kenwood equipment in my Jeep.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of the Kenwood subs at all. Nope.
That was very politically correct. Okay, thank you. Kenwood makes great products. Like we've talked about Kenwood many times. I'm a big fan of their 7-inch speakers. We love the Exelon. Everything Exelon is great. That's not to say that that they make bad subs. It's just we don't do a lot with their subs because at that price point we feel there are better subwoofers. If you're one of those guys that wants soup to nuts, everything to match, Kenwood Exelon is definitely a great way to go. You will be happy. We have plenty of places that buy a lot of the Kenwood subwoofers from us, and they love them. Kenwood also makes that 110 downfiring box. Sounds really good. If you are going to put it in the Jeep, though, make sure you raise it up about a ½ inch off the floor because it's a little too low. Okay.
All right, let's see. Now I installed the backup camera on my 2003 Town and Country. Do you guys know if there is a reverse wire within in the dash, or should I run the cable from the back to the back to the stereo?
Okay, so Town and Country is a Dodge, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep. All those use a data bus system. So when you replace the radio in that, you use a product that retains, like there's no accessory wire behind the radio. We're asking about reverse, yeah. I know. So to put a radio in that, you need some kind of a smart device. So we would use a Pack RP4 CY11 or 21, or we'd use an LC CY, whatever. We use C2R CHY11. Anyways, all those products are made to go behind the radio, and they talk to the data bus in the car. When they do that, one of the things that they give you is a reverse trigger, along with a bunch of other things like parking lights, amp turn-ons, VSS, emergency brake. Now, if you're not using one of those, let's say you're going to put a radio in the dash, and you're going to grab the accessory wire off the cigarette lighter, which a lot of people do because it's accessory or something like that. Then there's no way to get a reverse trigger other than to go all the way back to the light, which is fine because you're already back there running the camera in. So like you've seen in the videos, a lot of the times we'll check to see where the reverse trigger is. Sometimes it's down under the hood, sometimes it's down at the transmission, sometimes it's way out of the way, so it's like, screw it, we're here, we'll just grab the reverse trigger at the light. It's a trigger though. Yeah. That's all it should be used for, is a trigger. So run that one up, hook it up to the purple white behind the radio, good to go. Don't use the power up the camera. That's not necessary.
All right. Okay. Jason, will my factory backup camera lines still move in relation to the steering wheel after installing a Kenwood Exelon deck using Maestro RR in my 2017 Jeep Renegade? Real quick, hold on.
When can I bring in my truck? When can I bring my truck back in to get a amp itself installed? It's my 2015 Toyota ONeil installed.
Full color speakers.
Just give Paul a call.
Yeah.
He'll get you on the schedule. That's all it takes. Anytime you want to get a schedule,
phone call.
Just call Paul. We should get a sticker made. Just call Paul. He handles all the scheduling and anything like that. We're just the two dudes that put it in. We have no idea what's going on with the schedule. It's always a surprise. Yeah. Every day is a surprise.
All right, so...
Okay, read me that question again. I'm sorry.
All right, so will my factory backup camera lines still move in relation with my steering wheel after installing a Jeep Renegade 2017 using Maestro RR?
Yeah, they should. Maestro RRs are designed to retain those. Most of the time, that feature isn't built into the radio. It's built into the camera module. It should still work. However, if you're concerned with that, I would definitely call Maestro and ask them. All the times that we've had cars with those, they've worked, but we knew they would going into it. So I would call, and iDataLink has great technical support. There's no question there. They have great. Most of these manufacturers do. Pack has great technical support. iData has great technical support. They saved our butt the other day. That was kind of funny.
Yep.
So give them a call. They'll know. It should say, though. Now, it should say when you look up your car and it lists all the features, one of those should be dynamic parking lines is what that feature is called. It should list dynamic parking lines and either have a checkbox in it. So that's what you're looking for.
All right.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Last month, I bought the Pioneer 2330. Now the 2340 is coming.
2440.
Yeah, 2440. That's what I said.
Don't lose any sleep over the fact that the 2440 came out.
Any difference?
No, there's no difference whatsoever other than the number.
All right.
Pioneer's on this 2-year life cycle. They just like to change the numbers because it makes it harder for the internet guys. So, no, don't lose any sleep. It's the same radio. It's just got a new sticker on it. It's no big deal.
New numbers.
New numbers.
That's it.
It's all good there.
All right.
Hold on. Ricky Damon, Collins, how come y'all don't build boxes? Real simple. One, we have
yeah.
a real small install bay, and anytime we cut wood in there, it goes everywhere. Two, I built boxes for a really long time, and I'm allergic to the sawdust. It just kills me. I sneeze for days on end. Three, we have Bright Star Car Audio, which is right down the street from us, Big Red. He will build me any box I want. All I have to do is draw him a blueprint of it, send it to him, and he'll build it to me, and I'll have it in a day. So for me, every time we cut wood in the install bay, we literally have to stop what we're doing, pull the whole install bay apart, clean the whole install bay, and then start over, because I don't want a dirty install bay, and I don't want a car covered in sawdust. We tried cutting the wood outside. The only problem is that with the wind that we have out back, the way our back area, it just blows back into the install bay. So we cut plastic. Plastic, great gravity, falls right to the floor. We've gone on to using that for most things, so that's why we don't build boxes. Not that we can't. We just, with the current situation the way it is in our install bay, it's not worth it.
All right, we have appointment for ONeil. He's coming.
Cool.
In July 2019. Nice.
Don't make it for any time during the July 4th week. We will be on vacation and we'll all be closed.
Oh yeah.
So.
Why? But next year.
Oh well, no,
next
it is
year.
2018 this year.
No, he's saying 19.
Oh, 2019.
Yeah.
There again,
Still.
next year, same time.
Same
4th
time.
of July week.
That's the only
we're
week.
closed.
Yeah.
So it's got to be any week but 4th of July week.
Just call Paul before you.
Yeah, because we'll be closed the whole 4th of July week.
All right. I'm interested to add an aftermarket amp and replace all the speakers around my 2011 RDX.
Oh yeah. What is
Yeah.
an RDX? That's an Acura, right? Yeah,
I
Acura RDX.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It has a factory ELS sound. Do you have any experience with this vehicle, and do you have any recommendations?
I know we've worked on one. I really don't have any recommendations. I'd have to know more. Like, we'd have to talk on the phone and kind of figure out what you're trying to do. So the question always gets asked: what should I buy? What should I get? What kind of speakers should I put in my car? What do you guys recommend? And we'll throw something out there. We'll say, buy some Rockfords or buy some Kenwoods, because these are products we use daily, we stand behind, we love, we like, we have experience with them, we know how they sound, we have really great results. So anytime we recommend something, we've tried it and we've used it. The problem that we run into is that it's like, I don't know what kind of music you listen to, I don't know what your budget is, I don't know what your level of installation ability is if you want to try to do it yourself. So there's a lot of variables there. So, it's hard to answer those questions, and without just, like, I don't want to throw a brand out there and be like, try this, because I feel like I need to talk to you. And anyone that comes in here, when I help them design a system, I talk to them for a good 20 minutes and find out, what are you planning on doing this? Where are we going to go with it? Are we installing it? Are you installing it? How, and there's a lot that gets involved in just that. Brands that are good, there's a ton of brands that are good. Like, we just brought in Morel.
Yes.
So now we have 3 high-end brands. We have Audis and Hertz, we have Focal, and we have Morel. And all 3 of them have different characteristics and sound totally different. And of course, we have Rockford Fosgate, we have Kicker, we have Audio Control, we have Phoenix Gold, we have Scar, we have Alpine, we have Kenwood, we have Pioneer, we have a very little bit of Sony. So we have a ton of products that we have access to and we get to play with. So I mean, we have an advantage as far as of recommending things. But without knowing specifically what you're trying to do, it's hard to make those recommendations.
All right, so Kenwood.
Thank you, Derek.
Kenwood X.
Hey, what's up, Ethan? Hey, it's Ethan.
What's up, Ethan?
How are the fam?
Yeah.
How are the little 4 midgets running?
All right, so
Okay, sorry.
Kenwood X01 5, the 5-channel amp.
Okay, 8, okay.
Yes.
5-channel amp.
4 gauge or
8 gauge?
8 gauge.
4 gauge.
And what brand do you recommend?
We use Stinger. We're a Stinger dealer. We use all kinds of Stinger. But there again, if you get a nice 100% copper 4 gauge, that's all you really are asking for. Oxygen free. Oxygen free is key. There's plenty of good brands out there. T-Spec, obviously Stinger. What's the high? I can't even think of it. There's a ton of good 4 gauge out there, but definitely run 4 gauge to it. The amp draws a lot of power. It is a very powerful amplifier for its size. If you haven't checked it out, head over to Old School Car Stereo, where he took that and the Pioneer 9601 and ran them head to head. The wattage that comes out of those 2 amplifiers is insane. But as far as stinger goes, that's the wire we use. So that's going to be the wire I recommend.
All right, so I have a ABH 391 BHS. I want to install weatherproof speakers in my camper shell.
He says, real quick, he says, you should use Fast Tool products or to cut your boxes, have excellent dust collection. Yes, and they make great dust collection. There's a lot. We have dust collection now. The problem is we just don't have the space to do the dust collection system we need. We're actually, right now, we're finishing up our router dust collection system. We have a dust collection system hooked up to the saw. It just doesn't suck the way we want it to. We need a top and a bottom dust collection system, and the way our saw is set up, we can't do that. Plus, we have a panel saw, which we're working on trying to get that to suck as much crap out of the air as possible. Yes. We have an air filtration system mounted on the ceiling right above it all. It's just, MDF just throws out dust like you just would not believe.
Like it's raining.
And unless I'm just going to build every single box out of birch, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Paul just not down for that, for one. That would be way too expensive.
Yeah.
And there again, I can make a phone call and the guy will build me whatever I want.
All right. So about the 391, I want to install weatherproof speakers on my camper and my Tacoma. How do I go about from the radio? I'm guessing he has 4 speakers already hooked up to the radio, and he want to add speakers in the camper. I'm guessing. So how do I go?
Where am I looking at here? I have I want to install weatherproof speakers in my camper shell of my Toyota Tacoma. Okay, how do I go about doing that? Okay. So first off, your 3.9. Okay, so he has a camper shell on the back. He wants to put some waterproof speakers back there. That's fine. A couple different ways you can do that. The first way to do that, actually, just what's popping in my head first. Obviously, you're going to buy some marine speakers. There's a ton of them out there. Kicker makes some really nice ones with lights. Stinger actually just started making some with lights. The lights would be cool. Rockford makes some. JL makes them. Everyone's got a marine speaker now. Even Hertz makes a marine speaker. What you're going to need, though, is that the deck has 4 outputs for speakers, and those are going to be the ones you're already using. So what I would do is pick up something like an Alpine 455U, KTP 455U, which is their universal little brick amps. A little 50-watt amplifier. It's like this big. It draws very little current. Okay. You can set it up for 2-channel input to run 4 speakers. So take like the front or rear output out of the 391, the RCA, run it in that amplifier. It's going to have a blue-white remote turn-on wire. Hook the remote turn-on wire up to an on-off switch. Then connect the power and ground up to the battery. Run wires back to the camper. Hook them up. When you want to hear them, turn them on and off with the 4.5. Turn your radio on, flick the switch to on. It'll turn the amplifier on, and you'll have sound in the back. That's really about it. The other option, which is way harder, would be to build a switching system with a bunch of relays so that you could turn on and off the speakers from inside the car and have them go to inside the cab. That would be way harder. I think just buying the small little brick amp would be the way to go. Pioneer also makes one too, which is a little bit cheaper, which is the GMD 1004. Okay.
All right, Eric. I would like
panel saws are a space saver. Love ours. Been using one for like 20 years now.
There you go. All right, Eric. I would like to put a double ding with backup camera in my wife's car. How hard is work on the Chevy Captur, Saturn, or View? Captive.
Yeah, Captiva.
Okay. To do a radio looks mostly like straightforward.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
not pull the radio yet.
It's a Chevy. At the end of the day, it's a Chevy. Chevys, Metra Online, though we don't recommend their kits all that often, one of their strong things that they make is they have a great resource of installation kit install guides. And their install guides is where they show you how to take your car apart. It's a great resource to have. Now, that'll tell you how to get the dash apart and give you an idea of how hard that whole thing is going to be. Because if you can follow that and it makes sense to you, then you're like, okay, I can put the radio in because I can read that and I get where all these little pieces and things and will pop off. Now, as far as putting in a backup camera, if you've seen the show, you watch Fernando put them in all the time, It's a fear thing, you know, because most of the time you have to drill a hole between the inside of the car and the outside of the car. You're definitely going to want a uni bit of some kind to do that. And then it's just running that wire. And running that wire is key because you have to make sure you run that wire following the factory wiring harness so that it will work just like the factory wiring harness. You don't have any pinches. You don't have any kinks. If you do that, you're golden. That's it.
All right, so let's see. It's safe to use carpet wrap piece of plywood as a amp rack under the rear bench.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me. Before we used plastic all the time, that's what we used. I'd take a piece of wood, I'd slap some carpet on it, I'd throw it underneath the back seat, I'd make an amp rack. I mean, I think if you go,
people still just
they do it all the time.
Put in
people just they just screw them to the floor. Golden. But no, actually, if you go back and look at, I think the Chrysler video that we did, the time lapse in the Chrysler install, like 3 years ago, that video, that was a wood amp rack that we used in that car because at the time we weren't using a ton of plastic, and we needed
some carpet,
and we didn't have like really thick plastic, so all we did was, we made an amp rack out of wood and carpet. We've made boxes before.
Yeah.
When I first started here, the whole thing was we did custom fabrication and we built stuff. But then we just got so busy and it just became such a hassle that we just stopped doing it because it just took too much time. And Paul's business model isn't necessarily structured that way. Every store has to have a business plan. And, though a lot of it is what I want to do, at the end of the day, it's still his store and we have to play by his rules. So, we've gotten to do what we want on a lot of things, but there's just certain things we can't change or want to change.
All right, I have a 2005 Pacifica and I want to install a system, but I don't know if it has internal amp.
Sounds good, Justin. Okay.
So, also, is there a way to retain the monitor so I don't have to buy a new one? Because I want to change the head unit 4201 Pioneer.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Pacifica. And he wants to install a system, but he don't know if it has an amplifier built in.
Yeah, more than likely is, because Pacificas suck.
But I don't understand about the monitor.
Rear overhead. It's got the overhead.
Okay.
What year is it?
05.
Sell the car. I gotta be honest. 2005 Pacifica is a nightmare vehicle. And that's nothing against your car. It's just 2005 was the changeover year, and the Pacifica was just the most forgotten car that they made. You have to bypass the factory amplifier. You can't retain the factory overhead. Is a nightmare. Is trying to retain any of the factory stuff is undoable. I think we had a video where we did a Pacifica. Mm-hmm. You have to go bypass the factory amp. Metro does make a harness to do that, but all that stuff has to come out. There's no great way to do it. Now, Metro was working on an interface to retain the factory amplifier. I don't know if it ever came out. I don't know if it ever works. When it comes to 2005 and Chrysler, it's just a bad year. When you add in the Pacifica, it's a worse year.
All right, so let's see. I like the Kenwood DDX 9905S. Looking to buy it, but Pack doesn't make a smart harness for my ride. It's a 2017 Hyundai Sonata.
Correct.
Not yet.
Not yet. I think Metro makes that one right now. Hyundai and Pack right now they're okay. So let's be honest. So Pack has a whiteboard just like every other manufacturer, and right now their whiteboard has Amp Pro written all over it. And right now the things that they're concentrating on are Amp Pro, and GM. The whole RP4, RP5, RP3 line of products that they make are going to all be changed. They're redoing the whole line. So they're spending a lot of time on that, and it's very expensive to produce these products. So they've taken me in and they've showed me some of what happens and why certain things take so long and why other manufacturers may have a product that is okay or some standard, or why they're first to market, or why they make a product and it's still never worked right, and they just don't believe in doing that. So it's tough. And for them, those brands like a Kia and a Hyundai have kind of taken a back seat to GM right now. But eventually we'll get back to them as they tell me, and we'll be good to go. You might not need a smart harness, though.
Yeah, all right.
But if you do, it's going to be a Metro one for right now. All right, what do you got?
All right, see, recently installed Fix 86 on my Dodge Ram 2017 with an Alpine stock amp. How can I get rid of the
hiss sound?
The hiss sound. Try everything or any suggestion.
All right, real simple. To get rid of the hiss sound is take the Fix out and put an Amp Pro in. If you've got a factory premium Alpine system in a Dodge Ram, they make an Amp Pro for that. That'll get you your preamp level output. You don't need to use a Fix for those anymore. The problem is that you're having an issue with the class. Hey, from Mexico.
From Cancun, Mexico.
The problem is that you're having is that the amplifier, Class D amplifier, doesn't like the fact that there's not the proper resistance on it, and it's doing dumb things like Class D amplifiers do. You don't need to worry about that anymore with that car. The easiest thing is to just buy an Amp Pro. I understand you already bought the Fix. That's cool. But to solve this issue, to make it go away, to make it sound better, add the Amp Pro. Problem solved. I would trade the Fix in and get a tune. Because the tune is something that the Amp Pro doesn't have. The Amp Pro doesn't have a DSP or an EQ or anything like that. It just uses the radio. So if you go from a Fix to a tune and an Amp Pro, that's the best of both worlds. You're rocking there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So just for Richard, he's looking to add a Pioneer in the Denali 2005. Just give Paul a call, and he put it in your schedule. All right. So John.
Newcastle, UK. What's up, Chris?
John, I have been watching your videos and really appreciate how much work and the quality of the work you guys do on installing stereos, alarms. When I was in high school, almost like 2 years ago, I updated the entire system in my CRV. After watching you guys, really want to wire it. Yep.
You know, and that's funny. So John, basically what John was saying is something that I read a lot in the comments, which is great. And this was one of the things that has been a side effect of the show, is that a lot of guys, we all have, a lot of people are my age, and we've all grown up, and we have kids now. And these kids, like the 10-year-old that came up the other day with his dad. Yeah. Haley watches YouTube constantly. Sebastian, he was watching YouTube yesterday, and he's 2. So these kids watch YouTube, and no, I didn't talk to Paul at all today. I was out half the day, so Paul and I didn't get a lot of conversation. Victor, I'm sorry. So he'll probably talk to me tomorrow. So anyways, what we've been getting a lot of, and even the guys that come in and visit us and say hi, which we love, they're like, hey, I used to do this in high school, or hey, I used to do this when I was younger, and then life caught up with me. I had kids, I got this, I got that, and then they got stuck watching YouTube because their kids are watching YouTube, and they're like, well, what did I like when I was a kid? What can I find? And then they find us on YouTube, and it's like, next thing you know, they're like, man, I want to buy speakers for my car. This is so much fun. It was great when I was in high school, or it was great when I was younger. Let's do that again. And it's great because car audio is fun. It's always been fun. Loud music is great, man.
It's always great.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Hearing shit loud and sounding good,
turn it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Dude, this 10-year-old kid came up to see us, and it was awesome because he's like, dude, I got a stereo in my bedroom, man. And we're like, he's 10 years old. This kid is powering an 8601 Pioneer amplifier with the power supply that he ripped out of his game system. Because he needed a 12-volt power supply. Yeah. So he's like, my game system has a 12-volt power supply. It's pretty big. I'll hook it up to my amp. He's banging 2 12s, man, in his bedroom. It's like, what?
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome at 10, And his dad was like, hey, I just want to come and meet you guys. But yes, no.
He already have a plan what he's going to do with his
but
dad's car.
Getting back into car audio after being out of it for so long, it's awesome. It's great because it's like, when I look at where I was back in the 90s as far as car audio goes, and then into the early 2000s and where it's at now, it's so much cooler now, man. It's so much cooler now. I mean, it was fun back then, don't get me wrong. Old school car stereo, every time Big D Wiz puts something up, it's like, oh, I remember that. But still, it's like, I like this. This is way cooler.
Ricky say, what do you think is the best single DIN radio out right now?
I really like the 8080. I'm sorry, the 8800 from Pioneer. It's not as great as the 80 PRS, which everyone is going to tell you the 80 PRS is awesome, and it is. It's a benchmark for sure. I mean, we tested it. Big D Wiz has tested it. A lot of guys love it. What I like about the 8800 is that it is just a little scaled down, but it's more evolved. I mean, it has the better Bluetooth. It has options that I feel are relevant now. If all you want is the ultimate in sound quality and you're just going to be a tweaker, then the PRS 80 is the way to go. If you are a mild tweaker and want the better Bluetooth and that kind of thing, then the 8800.
All right, so Curtis, LC21 plays a full power only when the balance is
Heck yeah,
all the
James.
way to the right or to the left. All right.
Okay.
So it plays like full power when
Yes.
it's to the right, when it's to the right or to the left. But when they put it in the middle, it only plays a half.
Yeah. What kind
Any
of radio?
ideas?
Yeah, polarity. It's all polarity. Anytime you guys watch a video, we do a polarity test.
Yeah.
The reason why we're doing a polarity test is because we want to make sure all the speakers are moving in the right direction. There's many ways that you could screw up the polarity, though. And one of them is on the input section of the amplifier. So, if you play just the left, you get all the sound. You play just the right, you get all the sound. When you play the two together, if you have one out of phase out of the other, guess what? You get cancellation. You have a polarity issue on the input of the amplifier. It happens. How does it happen? We've seen bad RCAs. If you're using a high level to low level adapter, it's real easy to happen then. That's lots of fun. Could be a cheap radio. There's a lot of things that are causing that issue, but what you're having is an issue with polarity on the input side of the amplifier. Or somehow all the speakers on the left are out of polarity with all the speakers on the right, which is essentially what's happening, but it's happening before it gets to that. So,
yeah. Gotta switch it. All right, so
we're in Clearwater, Florida.
We are?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. Right across from the original Hooters.
Yeah. What's the difference between iDialing Maestro serial and remote wire? What's the difference between iDialing Maestro serial and remote wire?
I don't know. I mean, they could be talking about like the iData data connection would be the only thing I could think of there. But they have remote turn on wire just like anything else.
Alright, so hey guys, been watching your videos for a while, learning a lot, thanks. I installed 2330 NAX with iDialing Maestro on my 2014 Scion TC.
Cool.
I noticed something interesting with the parking brake interlock.
Okay.
I want to know if you guys have seen this before. You have to engage the parking brake, have the car in ignition state, and have the seatbelt unlock.
Yeah.
The last one threw me for a complete loop.
So, parking brake wires. Love them, hate them, don't use them. Do yourself a favor. Pick up a micro bypass from microbypass.com or search micro bypass on Amazon or eBay or whatever and install one of those. What's happening is the Pioneer radio needs to see on, off, on. Now,
Thank you, Derek. Thank you.
The Maestro can only do what the car feeds it, so it's a data wire. So if the emergency brake only triggers like when the seatbelt is clicked in or some silly stuff like that, then yeah, it's going to be weird. Buy a micro bypass. Do yourself a favor. Unlock the menus. No one watches DVDs while they're driving. That's just silly. I mean, if someone's still doing that, you should be ashamed of yourself because, come on, you can't even text and drive. You want to watch a movie while you're driving? That's just dumb. Get a micro bypass. Okay, that's it. What do we got? 2 more and then we got to go.
We got 2 more. Let's go over here. I've been happy with my Sony.
Yep, that's good.
CDX F700 for years installing. Started watching you installs and a fancy.
Oh, you got a 201.
Yeah.
These fancy double dins and had to buy a Pioneer 218. Okay. What's your guys' opinions of the Q-Bomb subwoofer boxes? We use them.
Yeah. Paul ordered it.
Paul orders them. We put them in. When we do the Rhino lined ones, which is I think what all the Q-Bombs are, we don't ever get them back. So that's, to me, they sound good, and I don't ever have to see them again. I like them. So there's that.
All right. I have a ABH. This is the last one. I have a ABH 491 VHS URAM SAT1 and a radio pro hooked up with
have a problem with the URAM.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to. Okay, so like we did a video on the URAM, and that was the only time we ever got the URAM to work. The problem is that we found is that Chrysler uses like a 10-foot cable between the radio and where that URAM plugs in. It's too long. The resistance, the radios can't read the resistance that's putting out, so we actually stopped using the URAM, and we've just switched to an on-dash USB nickel. What we end up doing if someone wants to retain that is we'll put a charger on it so that it can charge, but the URAM is a dud, unfortunately.
All right, Edison, we have a video on bypassing the amplifier on a Lexus. It's kind of similar, so if you watch that video, you might have an idea what you need to do.
If you want to upgrade from your INAW 900 BT, check out the INEW 977 HD.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. We've been on for a long time. Hey, thanks for watching as always. If you guys want shirts, teespring/store/5star car stereo, dnftooldrower.com.
Yep.
We're also on Patreon. If you guys want to support the show, it's a great place to go.
Thank
you,
Jason.
you so much. If you haven't checked it out yet, the giveaway is still on. It's on until the night, so go check that out. It's on YouTube. Yep. You have a chance to win some stuff.
Oh man,
it's on like Monday a couple times back. If I didn't answer your question, I am so sorry. We try to hit them all. You guys are great. Thank you so much.
Hit the YouTube live show Saturday.
Yeah, you can ask us again and try again on YouTube Live. You guys have a wonderful night. I'm off to pick up my antibiotics. I can't wait. So my ear will stop hurting.
See you guys later.
You guys have a great night as always.
Thank you. Bye.